the new. Sounds good. Ooh, shotgun blast. Yeah, I gotta block the I gotta block my hose. I'm gonna order a DNA air filter for this thing. And then while I have the tank up anyway to put it in there, I'm gonna go ahead and just jam a marble in that AIS hose. Popping and crackling sounds cool, but I'm like, eh. It's like, I don't know that it's good for the bike. I don't know that it's bad for it, but I'm pretty sure it's not good for it. Not really. I mean, I don't know, having explosions take place in your exhaust can't be good for it. I don't know that it is, but I mean, if you get a bunch of popping and crackling and stuff on a regular basis, you almost wonder, it's an explosion. That's blowing out the end like a shotgun, but that does temporarily build pressure, and is that good for your exhaust valves and stuff? I don't know. I was reading something about it earlier. One of the guys on the MT10 forum posted something about it. I was like, I never really thought of it that way, but yeah, maybe. That's just a good sounding motor. So we're going to go for a quick ride today. Going to go grab a burger real quick because it's, yeah, 12:30. It's eating time. Big boy here. Thick boy needs food and a beer. And then, yeah, I guess we'll go to Over the Top Burger. Yeah. This thing does sound good. The tone is just... Yeah, see, mine sounds like Jimmy's. He accidentally dumps the clutch when he does that, and BAM! It's like, Nick, you got hit again. Oh no, poor Nick. Pull up alongside me in second here, Johnny. 1, 2, 3. As Jimmy almost smacks into the back of me. Didn't see my brake lights on. There's James. Oh, this thing is just a hoot. You got your traction control on, which will help keep the front end from going too high. You can basically just pin that and hold it, and it won't come up too far on you. Yeah, you can. The only thing you can't turn off is ABS. Honestly, unless you're looking to do burnouts, leave it on. There's no point in turning it off. Hold on, I'm gonna get up ahead of you here. We're gonna turn left up here. Gonna turn left into here. Oh, this thing is just a beast now. This new map and stuff is feeling awesome. Alright, let's park right up here up front if we can. Just right there. Coolio. Let's get something to eat, and then we're going to go bike shopping with Nick. So at Dave's Garage, on location. Yeah, an adventure. It'll be Dave's Garage on location today. Going to a couple different motorcycle shops. We can find Nick a new bike, something sporty. We'll be back a little later, folks. Alright, here's a nice Saturday. Tomorrow's gonna be crap. So, going out for a little bit of a, taking a spin. Nick's thinking about a sport bike, so we're going around to different dealers to see what he fits on. He is a man of reduced stature, so whatever he gets, there's, you know, the power, style, price point, all that stuff, but he physically has to be able to fit on it properly, reach everything, make sure he's not on his tiptoes, which, you know, you could do in your driveway and stuff, and, you know, but you get on lumpy pavement. There's a I don't know what the shit is going on with traffic today. It has all been like this, just gridlock everywhere. Is it because is Easter weekend? I don't know when the hell Easter is. I don't really celebrate it, so something about a day and someone came back from the dead, and so a magic bunny gives out, I guess, poops out chocolate eggs. I don't know. There's some weird thing. Maybe that's what everyone's doing. I don't know, but holy shit, it's hot as, I mean, it's not even summertime heat. It's only 80 degrees, but 80 degrees. Let's go, assholes. It's freaking hot as shit on the pavement here. So we're trying to find Nick a bike. He's thinking speed triple. I'm like, let's knock it down to a street triple, what Jonathan's got. 118, 120 horsepower at the wheel on a bike with a dry weight of like 362 or something like that. I think it's like 367 or 369, but that is with, that's with the stock exhaust. You go getting rid of that giant ass cat box on there, like we did today on an episode of Dave's Garage. And your dry weight is down like 360. It's a really light bike to be making that kind of power. And then you throw in Showa big piston forks and Öhlins shock and Brembo M50 monoblocks with steel braided lines from the factory and a quick shift with auto blip and all the ride modes. It's an absolutely stunningly brilliant bike. If they had had the new ones in, because I've already had one of those, so I didn't want to go buy another one. Donna had one, and I had one. Now, if they'd had 2023 models in gold, in stock, yeah, I might have gone for that. If I had known I was going to keep the Speed Twin, because remember at the time I bought this, it was because I was anticipating getting rid of the Speed Twin. I probably would have waited for that. But I'm loving this. As much as the Street Triple RS is better than this in some ways, better brakes, better weight, better suspension, and probably better fit and finish, although there's nothing wrong with this. This has by far the better motor. I think it has the better sound because I love the crossplane. It's got better electronics. Well, than his, not the new Street Triple. They're on par. Ugh, what is this? You got that douchebag in the Camry. Always got to be the one person parked in the passing lane. Thank you. Get over. I don't get people. They got to be on the phone or they're talking to somebody in the car. and they're just absolutely oblivious. I'm about to zip in between them. This thing is just amazing. Just the perfect sound. The front feels not squirrely, but because the front tire is it's constantly off the ground. It's hitting and hitting, and then, you get a little bit of head shake here and there. But that's mainly because it just wheelies all the time. So what we're trying to do is I'm trying to push him towards, he's like, oh, I gotta have, once on 1,000. I'm like, It's like, I have a hard time because I'm just gonna be blunt. And Nick's a really good guy. And I don't want to insult him. I don't want to come across like a dick or like I'm better than you, any of that kind of stuff. But I definitely... Oh, he's over there. I definitely, I have strong opinions on this stuff and sizing people up and, what's a good bike for you, but also, what are your limits? What are you going to do with a particular bike? You just going to putz around on it? Are you going to do track days? Are you going to spend most of your time up wicking it up in the mountains, but then it needs to be comfortable for a longer ride or a short trip? Yeah, and bikes like this, the MT-09, the Street Triple Speed Triple Z900, whatever Suzuki's new 800cc naked sport bike. Those are kind of where it's at. They're the right bang for the buck. And giving you everything you need. Really competent sportiness, fast, without being overly excessive. But, you tell someone like, oh, you can't handle that. Guys have egos, especially guys that ride seem to have egos, and so try to be mindful of it, like, not like, oh, you're not good enough. It's just, there's a learning curve. You go getting on a bike like a Speed Triple RS, that's a big jump up from a Harley, right? It is really easy to get in over your head. Everything happens so much faster. Someone that just started driving and they're on a Volkswagen Beetle, you don't go, hey, here's a new Z06 Corvette, enjoy. Now, could they do it? Yeah. If they have a lot of restraint and you crank up the electronics, and maybe that's going to be the key to it if he really wants a Speed Triple. I'm going to be like, dude, for the first 3 months, put it in rain mode. Do not put it in sport or track and go nuts with it, because you will end up hurt. If it doesn't flick you off, you're going to come into that first turn faster than you ever have. That's the biggest danger. Is you're like, oh, I got a little used to the power, it's quick, it's this, it's that. And then you yank the throttle on the straightaway, and all of a sudden your turn is coming up, and your turn is there like 7 seconds quicker than you expected it to be. And you're going 30, 40, 50 miles an hour faster than you should be going into that turn. That's a wake-up call. That's a come-to-Jesus moment right there. And that's where people get in, get in trouble. Yeah, a lot of accidents happen in intersections, people turning left in front of you, T-boning you, all that kind of shit. But there's also, the biggest reason that when it's the rider's fault, it's because they came into a turn too hot. They panicked, hit the front brake, and you either tuck the front low side and slide into oncoming traffic or a ditch or a guardrail, or you hit the brakes, but you got ABS, you maybe don't tuck the front end, but you stand the bike up and you go straight across into oncoming traffic or a ditch or a guardrail. That is where most fatal or serious wrecks happen, where it's not another motorist involved, it's the rider. And on a smaller bike, you can go stupid fast, and you can certainly go too fast into a turn, but you kind of have to work on it. You got to work at it. The leader bikes make it so effortless that it's easy to just not realize how fast you're really going. When you got on an R1, when you get on one of these, when you get on a speed triple, a freaking Tuono, Super Duke 1290, these are animals. These are just brutal bikes. And you need to have a bunch of years of experience and restraint under your belt. I know someone's gonna say, well, my second bike was a Boost. I know there are exceptions. I'm talking generalities. There are people that have more skill than others. There's people that are luckier than others. There's people that have more restraint than others. Some people are just luckier than others. There is no sure thing. There is no guarantee on anything in life. So you do whatever you can to you play the odds, right? Stack the odds as much in your favor as you can. And I should have gotten off at that exit. I'm talking and I'm on autopilot. Alright, we'll have to backtrack a little bit. So that's where I'm trying to just coach Nick a little bit and kind of guide him towards the right bike. So we're not reading about him in the papers one morning. It could happen to any of us, right? It has happened to people we know. That was some good popping and crackling. Try to eliminate some of that. Gonna do the marble trick. Maybe tomorrow. If the weather's gonna be shit tomorrow anyway, I guess I have nothing else to do. We'll do a quick video on how to disable your PAIR system. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm gonna get the block off plates. Yeah, if you want to spend $20 to $40 on a metal plate and have to take the tank off and then take the airbox lid, get to the velocity stacks, take those off, take off the bottom of the airbox, whatever. I ain't doing that shit. I ain't got time for that. Pull up the tank, prop it up on a board, and on the back of the tank is a hose that goes into the airbox. Unplug it, take a marble and some grease, kind of slather it up, jam it down in about that far, about 1.5 inches with a screwdriver, and reconnect the hose, clamp it. AIS system, 100% blocked, for the price of a child's marble, which you can buy a bag on Amazon of 100 marbles for $2.39 like I did. And I have basically, you know, 100 bikes worth of marbles now for $2.50. And then, yeah, and it's reversible. If you take it in for service, the dealer looks at it, doesn't look like you did anything, because they wouldn't know. Nothing's missing. In some states, you know, it's part of the smog and, you know, watch systems, and, you know, or in some countries, I don't know if they inspect that shit, but I just do the damn the marble trick. I've been doing that. I think Huey taught me that way back in the day, probably 07 or something. I see Chris Moore doing it too. When he's like, yeah, if they don't want block off plates or whatever, he has a bag of marbles in his toolbox next to the dyno. I saw that. I'm like, is that for what I think it is? He's like, yup. I was like, cool. I've been doing that for ages. Come on. Ah, motherfuckers. Everybody's slow as shit. It's like, oh, take our time. So, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to try to coach Nick. I'm pushing him towards a Z900, Street Triple R. MT-09, but he didn't really like that, which is a shame because that MT-09 is a brilliant bike. But maybe he'll see something else. And then there is the new Suzuki. There's the GSX S750. I wouldn't steer him towards the 1000, but apparently now there's an 800. That's supposed to be a ripping little bike. So I'm thinking if they have any of those, I would push him to one of those. But there is it's a 2020 Speed Triple RS. So that's the 1050 motor after the revamp in 2018 or 2019. My friend Boston had one of those. And they're pretty, they're stout. Bone stock. It comes with the Aero exhaust, but you can remove the DB killers pretty easily. A little bit of grind work. And we put his on the dyno, and it was making 138 horsepower at the wheel, bone stock. And Huey looked at the air-fuel ratio and was like, don't even tune this. He's like, it is spot on, at least at wide open throttle. He's like, it is spot on. That torque curve and that air-fuel curve is exactly where you want it. Anyway, that's what's going on. So I'm gonna, oh, looks like the light's turning. I need to take my glove off to turn this stupid camera off. I love the way this thing wheelies, because it's abrupt to a point, but it's still sort of smooth. It's not like my Street Fighter 1098 or my 1198 where it was like something exploded like under the front, like there was spring loaded and it went boom like a catapult. This is a little bit more measured and smooth, a little bit more predictable, which is confidence inspiring, which makes you want to do it more. Alright, I guess Nick needs gas. That little tiny tank of his. I guess I got half a tank. I guess I'll top off. Alright, well, I guess this will give me an opportunity to turn off the goddamn camera. We'll see you cats later.